Have you ever felt as if the world around you was hiding more than your eyes can see? As if there were stories buried beneath time, creatures forgotten by science, and truths no one ever dared to reveal? Welcome to Creatures Mysteries, the place where reality unravels, the impossible takes shape, and every shadow might guard an ancient secret. Here, monsters aren't just legends, and the silence of night can hide what history tried to erase. Imtio Danny, your guide through this journey between the known and the unknowable. If you believe there's more between heaven and earth than what we were taught to believe, you're exactly where you need to be. Before we begin, comment below and tell me from which city or country are you watching this. I want to know how far this mystery has traveled. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and get ready. Because from this moment on, legends awaken, oceans whisper, and the unknown finally has a voice. Long before any civilization raised temples or wrote its first story, giants of flesh and frost walked across an untouched earth. Among them, the mastodon ruled like a silent monster of the blizzards. Its footsteps echoed across thick snow like distant war drums, announcing the power of nature itself. Icy winds sliced through frozen forests, yet it moved steady, unshaken. Back then, the world belonged to the colossal. Living throughout the Americas during the Pleistocene, the mastodon stood nearly 10 feet tall and weighed over 6 tons. It was like watching a living wall move through snow-covered trees. Its body was a fortress of muscle, built to withstand hunger, storms, and endless winter. In a world ruled by silence and ice, it proved that life could still rise against all odds. Every step it took was like time shifting forward. What made it unforgettable were its conical tusks, long like ancestral spears. With them, it stripped bark from frozen trees, overturned logs, and dug through snow in search of food. Those tusks weren't made only for battle but for survival. Each scar it left on tree trunks was a mark of existence, a carved memory of the past. Wherever it walked, the forest bowed. Its thick skin, covered in coarse hair, was a shield against glacial winds. Sculpted by the ice ages themselves, the mastodon was the embodiment of endurance. It faced predators, storms, and nights that seemed to never end without surrendering. Its heartbeat followed the rhythm of an ancient earth. It was the guardian of the frozen wilds, the giant who refused to fall before the winter. But even titans are not eternal. When the climate shifted and the first humans appeared, the age of the mastodon began to fade. Hunted, isolated, and betrayed by melting ice, it disappeared slowly, silently. Their bodies sank into the frost, buried by time itself. The earth grew quiet and one more giant was gone. The world moved on smaller. And today, when we unearth their bones, we're not just finding fossils. We're uncovering echoes of an age when nature was untamed and giants roamed freely. The mastodon isn't just part of history, it's a reminder that the world was once far bigger, wilder, and more mysterious. And every fossil is a doorway to that sleeping past. When the wind cut like a blade and earth was nothing but ice and darkness, one creature stood against the cold as if it had been born from it. The woolly mammoth titan of the Ice Age. Its massive body, wrapped in a thick coat of golden-brown fur, seemed to carry the memory of winter itself. Wherever it walked, the ground trembled, and the tundra fell silent in respect. In that brutal world it was king. Taller than the mastodon, the mammoth reached up to 11 feet and weighed nearly 10 tons. Its curved tusks arched like ivory crescents carved to touch the sky. It used them to break through deep snow, push down frozen trees, and defend its herd from hungry predators. Its strength was as old as the ice around it. Even the cold seemed to bow before it. While blizzards raged and the land lay buried beneath snow, mammoths traveled in herds, protecting females and young with their own bodies. Survival wasn't just instinct, it was memory, legacy, bloodline. They crossed frozen valleys for miles, following invisible paths traced by ancestors long forgotten. They moved like silent armies of giants, leaving trails the ice would later erase. A thick layer of fat and long insulating fur shielded them from temperatures that would kill most living creatures today. Their breath steamed in the frozen air, and their blood ran hot like fire inside a world of snow. The mammoth was nature's answer to the impossible life, thriving where life shouldn't exist. a warm heartbeat in the heart of winter. But then the ice began to melt. Rivers flowed again, forests returned, and humans arrived. Hunters armed with fire and stone spears followed their tracks across the tundra. The earth changed too fast, and the mammoths could not change with it. One by one, their footsteps faded until nothing moved across the ice anymore. All that remains now are bones buried in frozen ground and bodies preserved in permafrost, as if still waiting to wake up. Looking at a frozen mammoth is like staring into a world lost to me, a world of silence, snow, and giants. And somewhere in the cold wind, it still feels like the earth whispers their name. Among all the colossal beings that have ever walked the earth, only a few have survived the tides of time. Ice ages ended, oceans rose, monsters vanished, but one giant remained. It didn't come from the ancient frost or from the depths of the sea, yet it carries the spirit of the old titans. The African elephant is the last living guardian of a world where size meant power and silence meant respect. Standing up to 13 feet tall and weighing more than 7 tons, it is the largest land animal alive today. So massive that even trucks look small beside it. Each step makes the ground vibrate, each breath is a reminder that nature, though tamed in many places, still roars in some corners of the earth. Its deep, dark eyes seem to hold memories from a time before mankind. Its curved ivory tusks rise like pale moons on the face of the earth. With them, it digs through dry soil, topples trees, and opens paths through dense forests. But what was once a symbol of power and wisdom became a curse. Humans began to hunt for the shine of ivory, ignoring the blood and history behind every tusk. And so, this giant now lives in the shadow not of predators, but of greed. Yet beyond its brutal size, the elephant is built from something deeper than strength. Its true power lies in its invisible bonds: family, memory, and mourning. It grieves its dead, protects its young, and shelters its elders like sacred temples. Its mind is a living map of the savanna, rivers, trees, dangers, all remembered and passed down like ancient scripture. They are guardians of stories the earth never wrote, yet never forgot. Though smaller than mastodons or mammoths, the African elephant remains a link between us and the giants that came before. It is the last shadow of a colossal past, a reminder that the earth once belonged to creatures far greater and perhaps wiser. Standing before one, we do not feel fear. We feel reverence, a quiet, sacred respect. Today, while many giants fade into extinction, the elephant still walks beneath the blazing African sun, lifting clouds of dust with every ancient step. Each trumpet it calls into the wind is like a prayer to nature, a plea for us not to forget what came before. It is the last giant of the earth, and perhaps the last guardian of the past. While dinosaurs crumbled into dust and mammoths sank beneath the ice, one silent predator kept watching the world change. It saw continents drift apart, seas rise, civilizations rise and fall. But it never disappeared. The saltwater crocodile is more than an animal, it is a survivor of ages, a living shard of prehistory. In the coastal rivers and mangroves of Southeast Asia and Northern Australia, this reptile can grow over 20 feet long and weigh more than a ton. Like a sunken school bus waiting beneath the surface. Only its eyes and snout break the water, two ancient windows staring through millions of years of evolution. It never chases death. It waits for it. Adaptable beyond belief, it thrives in rivers, marshes, and even the open ocean. Its lungs hold breath for long minutes, allowing it to strike without warning, like the water itself has grown teeth. Its bite is one of the most powerful ever measured, capable of crushing bone with ease. Nothing escapes once those jaws lock shut. Nothing. Armored in thick scales toughened by time, its body is a fortress of survival. Each scar across its skin is a story: fights with sharks, buffalo, even other crocodiles. It knows no hurry. Its only true enemy is time, and time, so far, has failed to kill it. Some call it a monster, and perhaps they're right. There's something ancient in the way it moves, as if reminding humanity that nature was never meant to be gentle. To see a saltwater crocodile resting on the bank of a mangrove swamp is like watching a fossil about to breathe. Its eyes show no mercy, only calculation. And even with satellites, sonar, and science, We still feel fear when imagining it hidden beneath the black water. It is proof that the earth still hides creatures that do not bow to man. Creatures born long before us and waiting to see what comes after. Silent, lethal, eternal. Long before humans dreamed of kingdoms and cities, ancient rivers hid a predator so fearsome that even dinosaurs kept their distance. Its name was Deinosuchus, which means terrible crocodile. It didn't wait for death, it was death, still and silent in the water, teeth glinting beneath the surface. Wherever mud met silence, it was watching. Deinosuchus lived around 80 million years ago and could grow up to 33 feet long, weighing over 8 tons. Larger than most carnivorous dinosaurs, as heavy as a city bus. Its bite was powerful enough to crush bone, even the bones of dinosaurs that knelt to drink from its waters. The river was not just a place, it was its hunting ground. Fossils reveal massive jaws, thick conical teeth, and reinforced vertebrae built for sudden explosive attacks. It hunted like modern crocodiles but on a monstrous scale. It waited, motionless, and when prey came close, a giant turtle, a fish the size of a man, or an unwary dinosaur, the water erupted in violence. One strike, one drag, silence. The most terrifying part is knowing that creatures like this truly lived, gliding through Cretaceous swamps like nightmares made of muscle and mud. Deinosuchus may be gone, but its legacy lives on in modern crocodiles. And every time we see still eyes above dark water, we remember the river is never really empty. Before the Sahara became an ocean of sand, it was crossed by colossal rivers, and in those waters lurked a predator even larger than Deinosuchus. Its name was Sarcosuchus, but most know it as the supercroc. A beast the desert tried to bury, but time refused to forget. Sarcosuchus lived around 112 million years ago, reaching up to 40 feet in length and weighing nearly 8 tons. Imagine a crocodile the size of a truck, its long narrow snout lined with sharp dagger-like teeth. It could stay submerged for hours, motionless, nostrils just above the surface. When the water rippled, it was already too late. Unlike Deinosuchus, Sarcosuchus likely fed on a broader menu: giant fish, ancient turtles, and sometimes young dinosaurs that strayed too close to the river. Its elongated skull acted like a living trap. Quick snap, violent pull, the water returned to calm, but it was not the same water anymore. Today, only its bones remain, unearthed from a land that used to be river and life. But if you close your eyes, you can almost hear it: the quiet ripple of water, the heavy breath of scales, and then nothing. Sarcosuchus may be gone, but the fear it carved into time still lives along every dark riverbank. After the dinosaurs vanished and the earth struggled to breathe again, a new terror rose from the steaming jungles of ancient South America. It did not roar. It did not run. It slithered. Its name still chills the spine: Titanoboa, the largest snake to ever exist. It could grow up to 42 feet long and weigh over 1 ton, longer than a bus, thicker than a man's torso. Unlike venomous snakes today, Titanoboa killed with sheer strength. It coiled around prey, bones cracking like dry branches in a storm. In those dark, humid forests, silence didn't mean peace, it meant danger. Its kingdom was the hot, murky swamps of the Paleocene. There, among rotting trees and suffocating mist, it preyed on giant fish, early crocodiles, and anything that dared to drink at the river's edge. No venom, no warning. Only muscle, pressure, and death as quiet as the mud beneath it. Titanoboa vanished as the world cooled and forests changed. But it left behind a message carved not in words, but in bone. Even after the reign of dinosaurs, the earth still belonged to monsters. And maybe it still does. The story of Earth wasn't written only in stone and time, but in footprints of giants, in tusks buried beneath ice, in the shadows that swam through forgotten oceans. Mastodons, mammoths, supercrocs, colossal serpents, they walked this planet before us. They breathed this air. They died under this same sky. Yet something of them remains. In fossils, in echoes, in the quiet feeling that we are not alone in history. Every bone is a heartbeat from the past, reminding us of something we forgot. The world was once wild, immense, untamed, and it could be again. If these titans could speak, perhaps they would whisper, "You are not the first, and you will not be the last. Respect the earth. It holds memories far older than you. And we, small beneath the weight of time, can only listen and learn. Now I want to know from you, which of these creatures would you dare to see alive? And from which city or country are you watching this? Subscribe to Creatures Mysteries, activate the bell. Because the next legends are already waking.